4 years ago, the Golden State Warriors moved their affiliation west to the surfer town of Santa Cruz. The Central Coast community immediately fell in love with the club, and their C-Dubs rewarded them with a championship 2 years ago. Now, they travel 70 miles to the north to the most raucous building in the association, looking to bring their skills to the big stage. The Santa Cruz Warriors take over Oracle next. It's the first time the Santa Cruz Warriors have played inside Oracle Arena, and tonight they host the Thunder-affiliated Oklahoma City Blue. As we welcome you courtside along with Colette Azubuike, I'm Guy Haberman, Kelly Johnson along in just a few minutes. We are just past the midway point in this 50-game season, and these two teams are in a playoff race. That's exciting, but maybe the big story tonight is the Warriors have a chance to set a D-League attendance record.
Come on now, it doesn't get any better than this for the D-League, man. This is crazy.
Jonathan Sterling is going to throw it up along with Bharat Ramnanan and Randy Richardson here at Oracle Arena. And the Warriors, with the crowd on its feet, will have the ball first. This is Phil Pressey. He's played 150 games in the NBA. Now Clifford, just a D-League rookie. This Warriors offense is #1 in assist percentage. LaDante Hampton, no. Sutherland is there for the first basket of the night.
No one put a body on Sutherland. He's saying, you know what, you're not going to put a body on me. I'm going to take advantage.
He has a lot of energy. He was ejected last night in the game at Santa Cruz, and here's a takeaway. As you said, one of the best defenses in the league. Scott Wood, why not? But he's off the mark, and Johnson the rebound. Johnson with good range. The center misses off the back rim, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Daniel Hamilton for OKC. A drafted stash, much like Dakari Johnson. Johnson out of Kentucky, Hamilton out of UConn in his first year. Both teams won last night in hotly contested games. Henton has his shot bothered, and the rebound comes off to Reggie Williams, the former Warrior.
Good defense from Caruso that last time.
He was one of the best in college basketball last year, wearing number 21 in blue. Here's Hamilton, now Caruso, guarded by Sutherland. Here's the all-star matchup. With the clock winding down, Clifford, good defense, and Johnson beats him anyway.
Dakari Johnson has really improved his footwork since he's been in the D-League. That time he just took his time, kind of split the defense in there, soft touch at the basket.
He was a second-round pick in the NBA draft 2 years ago out of Kentucky. Now they'll face off on the other end. Clifford gets fouled. That's on the floor, and let's welcome the third member of our broadcast crew, Kelly Johnson.
Hey, Guy, you know, back in 2015, the Warriors became the first franchise in NBA history to win an NBA title and NBA D-League championship in the same season, and there were a lot of parallels between those two teams, starting with their head coaches. Casey Hill, referred to as Santa Cruz's Steve Kerr, because they're very similar in personality, laid back, but fiercely competitive, and I'll tell you what, when I asked Casey about it, he said it was flattering, and that he's been invigorated watching Steve Kerr change the culture around here. And his players agree. They both told me that they have really been encouraged by both coaches playing for Steve Kerr, of course, during the preseason, guys.
Thanks, Kelly. It's so important. Here's Reggie Williams, a three. The former Warrior knocks it in, but so important to have some synergy between the D-League team and the NBA team, and to that point, the Warriors feel like they have that with Casey Hill.
They've done a great job, and they play similar. They run a lot of the same action. And that time on Reggie Williams, that last three, Hinton went under the screen right there. You don't want to do that against him. He's a knockdown three-point shooter.
There's James Sutherland. A couple baskets already for Sutherland, and now another rebound. Speaking of synergy with the Warriors, Pressey behind the back. And another three-pointer, Wood. Missed his first 2 looks. He does have a three-pointer in this building. Scott Wood played with the Warriors a game here in the preseason. Was 1 of 1 from behind the Oracle arc. Another turnover for the Blue.
Great defense from Clifford there. He's a very disciplined defender. He's not going to bite too many fakes.
LaDontae Henton off the back rim. Are you seeing any early nerves given the atmosphere?
Definitely. There's been some missed makeable shots as Dakari Johnson gets out and beats everybody down the floor. But you're going to have some nerves here. They've not used to playing in front of this many people. The Santa Cruz Warriors have a great fan base back there in Santa Cruz, but this is a lot different.
Wood 0 for 3 after he had a great game last night. Had 27 points against the Austin Spurs. Daniel Hamilton out of UConn. And again, the defense stepping up for the Santa Cruz Warriors. Here comes Phil Pressey. LaDontae Henton, an AAU teammate of Draymond Green. Growing up in Lansing, Michigan. Henton wearing number 13 for the Santa Cruz Warriors. Was just 13 years old when he joined Draymond's AAU team. He didn't play much defense, but he made a lot of shots, and he picked up a nickname there that stays with him, Buckets, or now just Buck for short.
There you go. He's a really good three-point shooter. One of the things he's working on is finishing at the basket better. You saw a little floater there. He's been working on that shot as well.
Williams on the miss, and Pressey again in transition. Probing his way, Caruso, but Clifford is there to fill the gap. And Santa Cruz back in front.
Phil Pressey is one of the best passers in transition in the D-League. And right there, you saw him kind of get into the paint there, bobbled it for a second. The defense collapses on him, and he finds his big man.
He's 5th in the D-League in assists per game, and he's on the top 25 prospect list, part of which you contribute to, Kalena. Of course, the Warriors just signed the #1 man off that list. A travel. No, an offensive foul. That's the second on Dakari Johnson. And we take a look at Clifford on the other end.
Watch Pressey here. He loses the ball. Dakari Johnson comes over and helps. And he just finds Clifford streaking to the basket.
And so now foul trouble as Dakari Johnson sits down. And the rookie out of Arizona, Caleb Tarczewski, 7-footer, comes into the game wearing number 41. Matched up with Clifford. Here's Wood. Another similarity with the Warriors, there is only a green light for Scott Wood.
He's going to get him up.
He had 10 three-pointers made in a game about a week and a half ago. Attempted 20 on that night. Hamilton in and out. And Pressey the board. Leaves for Sutherland. This crowd wanted that one.
Again, just like the Golden State Warriors, you're going to see a lot of threes in transition, early threes. Casey Hill is okay with that.
Kent Lacob is the general manager for the Santa Cruz Warriors, and he said the biggest difference, want to play like the Warriors, maybe a little more formal structure.
Right. They run more plays, and that's understandable.
Terrence Drisdom, a three-pointer off the bench. The second-year man out of Cal Poly Pomona, who had 17 points on just 4 shot attempts last night in the win at Santa Cruz.
He only shoots 28% from three-point range, but he's improving from back there.
That ball poked by Drisdom, and Sutherland saves it. Under 6 minutes remain here in the first quarter. Scott Wood had it taken away. Alex Caruso, 3rd in the NCAA per 40 minutes in steals last year. Now gives to Tarczewski. See how much he's developed the offensive game, but Clifford stonewalls him. And 3 seconds will go the other way. The Warriors defense is standing strong, leading 11-7, and knock it into 3 ball here in the first quarter.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena, where the Santa Cruz Warriors lead the OKC Blue 11-7. Now, a number of these Warriors are getting the NBA experience here inside the Warriors locker room. And all-time leading scorer of the Santa Cruz Warriors, Cam Jones, is sitting in none other than Steph Curry's locker. When I went to ask him about sitting there and if that was intimidating, he said, yeah, he goes, there's a lot going on here. In fact, I might just steal some shoes. I asked him if he thought maybe they wanted a little extra offensive firepower to run off on him. He said, yeah, maybe, but he seemed a little bit starstruck in there, Guy.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much. He played a couple games here And he said before the game he slept fine. There's Caleb Tarczewski. It was after the game where he was on the same floor with Steph. Couldn't sleep all night.
It's very understandable. Steph is big time.
And it's an electric building.
Yeah, seriously.
Here's Sutherland. A nice look from Pressey. But 1 of 8 from beyond the arc right now for the Santa Cruz Warriors. Cam Woods just into the game out of Butler. And here comes Pressey. Cam Jones just into the game to his left. Obekba fouled. That foul by Des Wells. Chris Obekba just into the game. Okay, take a look at Caleb Tarczewski on the other end of the floor.
He moves well for a big man, and this is how he's going to get a lot of his buckets. They'll lob it up to him. That time just a pin down, just roll to the basket. Beautiful pass, beautiful finish.
3 team fouls. Make that 2 team fouls on OKC. 12 on the shot clock. Here is Cam Jones, the aforementioned. And Des Wells, who just picked up that foul, playing in his 9th game for OKC. A whistle on the ball. That's on Cam Jones. That's his first foul. It's the first team foul for Santa Cruz.
Right now, there's a lid on that rim for the Warriors. They're having a tough time shooting. They're getting some good looks. Just can't get it to go down.
They are 10th in the D-League, averaging just under 109 points per game. 6th in pace, so you know they'll get them up.
They usually shoot 37% from three-point range. Right now they're shooting 14%.
Meanwhile, Reggie Williams inspired to be back in the building where he once played.
What a great story that is. I was on that team when he got called up, 09, 2010. This is the first building he got called up to. That's got to be an interesting feeling for him, being back here in the first building he got called up to.
Here's
Arena.
Obekba. You think he remembers that day?
I think he does.
Tarczewski, Obekba flies by, and then he's fouled. The foul is on LaDante Henton, his first and the second Warriors team foul. And so Tarczewski will go to the line.
Tarczewski moves really well for a big man. He's just outrunning everybody right here, and he'll do that often. He's going to get most of his buckets at the rim. He's a good pick and roll player. We just saw him roll to the basket. He'll throw him a lot of lobs, pretty athletic for his size. He's a good player.
See why his nickname is Zeus, coming out of Sean Miller's program in Arizona. Was not drafted, played in the summer league with Detroit and with the Wizards. 74% free throw shooter.
He had 21 points against the LA Defenders their last game.
Well, that was a game they were up by a big number. They were up 26 last night, blew the entire lead, and then found a way to win.
Right.
But what a swing for OKC playing against the Defenders in what is the smallest arena by attendance in the D-League.
Exactly.
And now in front of a crowded house, here's Chris Obekba. Obekba out of UNLV did not play for the Rebs last year, but he did practice all year long with Patrick McCaw. He gets a high five as Mark Daignault takes a timeout, and Obekba playing on the floor where his UNLV teammate plays so often. And the Warriors in front by 2. Warriors fans, check out the Santa Cruz Warriors next home game, February 22nd, when they take on the Reno Bighorns. First 1,500 fans receive a drawstring backpack, courtesy of Nordic Naturals. Visit SantaCruzBasketball.com to secure your tickets today. Here's a clean look for Des Wells out of the OKC timeout. Obekba has it go off his foot, battling with Tarczewski. This Obekba saying he came over my back. There's a battle of bigs in this game, regardless of who's on the floor.
Tarczewski's going to fight. You don't put a body on him, he's going to try to take advantage and get in there. That time he rolled open to the basket, they missed him.
Xavier Henry is checked in for Oklahoma City, and a foul on the floor underneath. That's on Obekba.
There's Tarczewski again. He's alone. As soon as that shot goes up, he's trying to get good position. Sometimes he's boxing out the defender.
First on Obekpa, third on the Warriors. Reggie Williams. Jump ball. And a 7-foot forearm wingspan will bring that down. And it will bring a real jump ball. Obekpa is 6'8", but his reach is 7'4", fingertip to fingertip. So here he goes up against the 6'5" Des Wells.
Obekpa should win this. He's got the size advantage.
He's had 3 blocks in 6 straight games.
He's a dirty work guy.
He told me at practice he doesn't understand why players are friends on the court. That tells you what kind of player he is.
I love it.
And Tarczewski comes away with it. And then cannot connect with the rim.
It hit the rim.
It did. Okay, so another jump ball.
Yeah.
Now, in the D-League, this gives us a chance. There are some beta rules, so to speak, some rules they try out in the D-League, and one of them is that when the ball hits the rim and the offense gets it back, the shot clock resets to 14, and we can clearly see the ball hit the rim, so the shot clock should have reset. So now we get Obekpa and Tarczewski.
Just mistimed that jump there, but Tarczewski right now is outworking everybody.
Now our first look at Alex Hamilton, the 6'4" first-year man out of Louisiana Tech, wearing number 3 for Santa Cruz. And finding Cam Jones. And Chris Wright, the former Warrior, the rebound. Crowd wanted to travel. Getting the rebound. Just about 2 minutes remain here in this first quarter. Here's Drisdom attacking in the nice finish. Terrence Drisdom is 24 years old, coming off a 17-point performance last night. And then on the other end, a quick answer.
Mongoro just caught him sleeping. Good attack in transition.
Boubacar Mongoro's played a lot in Spain. Wells, no. Good contest by Obekpa. Jones passes up the 3, and the finger roll goes down. Thought he was fouled.
Yeah, drawn kick. His defender, Henry, was in the paint when he caught the ball, so he realized if he can rip it through quickly, he can probably get to the basket. He does just that.
Here's Xavier Henry, fouled before the shot. 4th team foul on the Warriors. Take a look at Cam Jones, the leading scorer in Santa Cruz history.
Little finger roll there, a little George Gervin action. It wasn't as good as George Gervin.
An early entry in the George Gervin competition tonight.
I caught myself there.
He takes a seat. Scott Wood back in. And a whistle away from the ball, offensive. That's on Des Wells. It's his 2nd foul.
Charge number 11, Des Wells, 2nd personal.
What about the potential of this young man? 23 years old, 6'4", and the backup point guard for Santa Cruz. Nice pass.
It's a good passer. You can make those kind of passes. He threaded the needle there.
Xavier Henry, a name a lot of fans will be familiar with, and Obekpa denies him.
Weak side help, Obekpa.
Drisdom lost it. Had it poked away. Wells.
A little Euro step action right there. Beautiful finger roll. Hamilton didn't have a chance right there. He just Euro stepped around him.
A 2-point lead for Santa Cruz. You see the shot clock. About a 7 to 9 second differential, almost 9 seconds. Chris Wright on the switch. Gets his hand on it. The shot clock expires. 8.8 for OKC.
Watch Obekpa come from the weak side. Says, I'm not going to leave you hanging, bruh. Scott Woods right there. Comes over, gets a beautiful block.
A forearm with a forearm. He had plenty of extra, he had a whole extra hand he didn't need on that one.
Exactly.
Chance to tie or take the lead to end the quarter. And Let's see, did they get the jump ball before time expired? They did not. And so the first quarter comes to an end with Santa Cruz leading by 2. Despite the fact that Skywood has not scored, they got to feel good about that. It's been an energetic first quarter here at Oracle Arena. And the D-League Warriors lead the D-League Thunder by a pair. The first Santa Cruz Warriors game here at Oracle Arena as we get set for the second quarter. They lead the OKC Blue 19-17. Let's go flashback. Kalena Azubuike in the D-League.
Stop it.
Moneyball.
Wetter.
This is before Facebook Live.
Dunk. Before Facebook Live. I remember all of these. Wow. Dunk. Oh, good pass. Good drive. Wow.
Somebody call him up.
Yeah. That was back in the day. We only had 9 teams back then. The competition and the level of play and the talent has gone up so much. The league has grown. And it's great to see where the league is at right now.
It's incredible. It's so close to the NBA's goal of having one affiliate for every team, a 1-to-1 ratio. Right now there's 22 teams.
Yeah.
That are either single affiliated or owned by the parent club. There's Alex Caruso to start the second quarter.
Lane just opened up for him right there. Caruso.
Wow. First year out of Texas A&M, who was in camp in the Summer League in the NBA, in camp with OKC, Summer League with Philadelphia. Here's Dennis Clifford. Working with Alex Hamilton. Got a turnover. The third turnover of the game, and then they take it right back. That's the 8th OKC turnover. Here's Pressey, extra pass, Wood. He passes up a 3. Who wants it? Phil Pressey, back rim.
Right there, Pressey passed up an open jumper. He probably should have taken that one, and then that's to settle for a less open jumper.
Wood 0 for 3 from beyond the arc so far in this game. And there's an and one. The big Caleb Tarczewski will go to the free throw line. This is the previous possession. Now OKC attacking the rim.
It was going to be a ball screen, but he just kind of slipped it there. There was no screen really set. And he gets into the paint, and the help's not able to get there in time. Drove it too quickly.
Meanwhile, the foul committed by Dennis Clifford that sends Tarczewski to the line. It's the first for Clifford, who battled foul trouble last night in the win over Austin. Tarczewski 3 of 3 from the line tonight. OKC in front to start this second quarter now. Javier Henry. Clifford denied at the rim by Wright. And then it goes out of bounds with 6 seconds on the shot clock. It'll stay with Santa Cruz. And let's check in with Kelly.
Hey guys, well, we know coming into this game, the Santa Cruz Warriors were trying to set the all-time D-League single game attendance record, and they did just that. 17,497 fans here at Oracle Arena to see this game. So that is a new mark. And of course, they've had 22 straight sellouts at their home at Kaiser Permanente Arena. So they've been building a really strong fan base. And as you guys know, the bobblehead doll giveaway, Stephen Curry surfing. Now, I had a chance to talk to Steph about that bobblehead, and he told me he likes it. He's never surfed before, but he said, hey, it gives him a little motivation after his playing days are over to perhaps pick up a board and get out into the water. I have a feeling he'd probably be pretty good at that surfing stuff, too.
I think so. We know he can do the beach sports. We saw him playing volleyball last night.
Right.
Yeah, in Oklahoma City for a moment.
There's nothing he doesn't do well. Really crazy.
Just whatever his contract says he shouldn't or can't.
Yeah. He's even a good ping pong player. I played him in ping pong. I actually beat him, but he was good.
Really?
He was good competition.
Is this before he started using the military-grade goggles to catch tennis balls?
No, this is after.
Okay.
This is after. This is recently, this season. So
don't let me denigrate that win by you.
How good would I be if I was doing that thing?
A 3-point deficit here for Santa Cruz. And Kelly's right. You mentioned the 22 straight sellouts at Kaiser Permanente Arena. It is such a great environment in Santa Cruz. I had a chance to go watch them play Austin last night, and that place is so loud. Here's Pressey, high arc, And Hamilton is able to chase it down. Resets to 14. That's a D-League rule. And then Hamilton is fouled.
Alex Hamilton just cut back door. His defender lost track of him after the offensive rebound. Beautiful pass. We got to congratulate the fans here, too. They beat the record.
17,497. Not just beat it, Kalena.
Crushed it.
By more than 2,000. The previous record was 15,011, set by the Toronto Raptors D-League team, as Alex Hamilton gets the first free throw.
They did that. Congrats, Warriors fans. Santa Cruz, Golden State. Beautiful.
Great support. The 4th year in Santa Cruz after moving from Dakota back in June of 2011. Well, I should say June of 2011 when Casey Hill joined the team, moved a year later. Here's Xavier Henry, briefly a Santa Cruz Warrior. Well off the mark. And this is on Tarczewski, his first.
Oklahoma City blue foul charge. Number 41.
Pressey rejected that ball screen there, put the defense in a tough position. All they could do was foul.
Substitution for the Warriors.
Now James Sutherland's going to check in for Henton. Russo knocks it out, 17 on the shot.
There's still a lid on that rim for the Warriors right now. They're having a tough time shooting the ball. They've gotten some great looks, though.
Check it back in, 31.
Drawn and kicking. They've gotten into the paint. The defense has collapsed. Kick it out to shooters. Haven't been able to buy a bucket yet.
29%. You got to think it's just a matter of time. Particularly for Scott Wood, who has yet to score. Nice move by Clifford.
Beautiful jab, step, and go right there. Went baseline, nice finish. His footwork has gotten so much better. He seems to improve with every passing game.
Casey Hill has a great record with big men. We've seen them through the years. And Clifford at the top of that list right now. And all-stars, it pertains to D-League big men. And Pressey had it knocked away. Here's Caruso again. Nice look, but off the mark. Mondoro could connect. Game started with a lot of pace. It has certainly slowed down a bit, and that's more OKC's game.
Right.
Pressey with the kiss off the window.
Pressey does the right thing. The shot's not falling. Why not take it to the basket? Beautiful finish there.
A 7-0 run puts Santa Cruz back in front by 2. They go to the big man. Offensive. That is on Tarczewski. Hold on, we have the officials disagreeing as we take a look at Pressey's basket on the other end.
Watch Pressey reject the screen, and Caruso's already behind after that. And the help defense just couldn't get there in time. Just splits through. Beautiful finish. A little English.
Bharat Ramnanan called a foul on Tarczewski. Randy Richardson called it.
Official change on the personal foul.
On who? Called it on Scott Wood.
Yeah, he was digging down from the top there. Scott Wood doesn't like it.
Scott Wood. First personal, second team foul.
2 team fouls on the Warriors. 14 on the shot clock for Oklahoma City. Dakari Johnson is checked back in with 2 fouls. Tarczewski takes a seat. Johnson has 1 offensive. He checks the clock. Puts a shoulder into Clifford. And Sutherland comes away with it. Missed everything to Terrence Drisdom. And then Scott Wood picks up his second foul, and 2 shots are coming for Xavier Henry.
Henry was going to try to Euro step that one, and Wood just got his hands up in there. Another foul call. He's got to come out of the game.
Look
at Henry here. Euro step. Wood's like, no, I'm not letting you do that, but I got to foul you.
Xavier Henry at the line for two shots.
Wood played that ACB, the high-level Spanish league, so he's seen a Euro step or two.
Yeah, he has.
And here's Xavier Henry, traded by Santa Cruz to Oklahoma City on draft night in a deal that brought the Warriors Alex Hamilton. Now Cam Jones checks back in. There's Henry, familiar to NBA fans, 5 years of experience in the NBA. He misses the second free throw. Been battling some knee issues, but he was once the 12th overall pick back in 2010 of the Memphis Grizzlies. Under 10 on the shot clock as Clifford has it. Left alone as he'll knock down the baseline jumper.
Just sizing Johnson up. A little face-up jumper right there.
Xavier Henry fouled. And that's on Clifford. And that's number 2.
That's tough. He just came over to help. He thought he had him clean. From the angle we had, it looked like it might have been clean. Watch the drive here. There's Clifford on the weak side. Gets the ball. Got a tiny bit of hand after he got the ball.
You know what they say about the ball not lying?
Rasheed Wallace used to say that all the time.
Here's Caruso, and he nearly runs out of room, but he's able to finish.
It's a tough entry pass over there, and Clifford tried to catch it and make something of it, and he had to turn it over.
Good position for Clifford. He gets doubled for a moment. Pressy. That cap's still there, Colena.
That was a split action. You see that from the Warriors a lot. Throw it in the post, the guards cross. Pressy gets a good look. Still not able to knock it down from outside.
That time it goes out of bounds off the Warriors. Clifford and Jones collide. And Dennis Clifford is going to take a moment. And the Warriors take a timeout. Casey Hill coming onto the floor to check on his all-star big man. The Warriors in front by 1. Welcome back inside Oracle Arena, and it is loud, and we're thrilled to welcome into the noise Kent Lacob, the general manager of the Santa Cruz Warriors. And Kent, first of all, welcome courtside. Congratulations, a D-League record for attendance tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we felt, we knew this was coming. We're working on bringing the team here for I don't know how long, but to actually see it come to fruition, it's mind-boggling. It's really incredible to see it all come together. So we're having a great time. Hopefully we can get a win, but we're excited about it.
Talk about the mentality of these players and what you talk to your players about, because they want to stick out and stand out and be seen by scouts and NBA teams, but they also want to fit in and play together.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing in the D-League. Obviously it's kind of to a certain extent, you're in limbo where these are incredible basketball players who are playing at an extremely high level. They're professional basketball players, and they're just short of making it to the NBA, which is obviously where they ultimately want to end up. But it starts with, we have a group of guys who are so passionate about the game and legitimately enjoy playing with each other that that kind of takes care of itself a little bit on its own. But every once in a while you do give the refreshing reminder just to try to stay focused on being a part of the team that you're with, and let the results speak for themselves.
Right.
And they've been really responsive to that message, and like I said, they all enjoy playing with each other, and you can see that, out on the court. So
we got to talk about Dennis Clifford because he's an all-star now. He was a tryout player. He had to make the team. Can you talk about what you guys saw in that tryout?
Yeah, I wish that I could sit here and say we knew he was going to be this good, but that's just not true. We saw a lot. We watched a lot of film on him, and we liked what we saw. We thought he's a very skilled player. Yeah. What we didn't realize is that competitive edge that he has. Like, he plays so hard, whether it's a practice or an individual workout, or if you're out on the court in a game, and just that mentality that he has. From day one of training camp, he's a totally different player than he was. Right. And, a lot of guys get better. That's what the development league is for. But when someone like him takes it and they embrace it and they really, say, I'm going to get as much out of this as I can, he's a testament now to just this is what can happen if you really put your mind to it. And I don't know how many players have started as a local tryout player and that same season been a D-League All-Star. It's really impressive, and honestly, all the credit should go to him for that. Yeah. So, great guy, great player, and we hope to see big things from him down the road. So.
He plays with such a high motor. That's what I love about him.
Yes, he does, and he's got a little bit of that old man game, from the 1990s, but he's more mobile than people give him credit for as well. So, he's a good player, and he's going to continue to get better.
Well, you know why he's got old man game? Sutherland, the nice three. He grew up watching Paul Pierce. And he says when he's on the court, in his mind, Dennis Clifford, he says, I'm Paul Pierce when I'm out there. We see that smoothness in the 7-footer.
That's true, and I think sometimes he'd like to be playing out as a perimeter player too. So, but yeah, he's got a little Boston in him, and he's got a big competitive edge, and he's a fun player to watch.
We talked a little bit about it as we watch these guys scrap. 2 on the shot clock. Here's Johnson, and an offensive foul. That's his 3rd foul.
Number 44, Zachary Johnson, 3rd personal.
Mark Daignault not pleased. We see the 31-year-old head man for OKC. Casey Hill on the other side, just 33 years old, Ken. What are his best qualities, your head coach?
Yeah, I think the greatest thing about Casey is he's a good basketball coach, no doubt. He's really good when it comes to the basketball X's and O's side of things, but he's an incredible communicator, and he's shown over the course of his time coaching here in Santa Cruz that consistently he gets teams to play really hard, and they play with each other, and it's because he connects with them off the court, whether it's basketball-related stuff or it's, just having a meal with them and talking. He's able to understand how to relate to players. He played Division III basketball himself, and that's translated over to him as a coach, where he can really connect with players on multiple levels. So that's definitely his greatest strength, I think.
Head on a swivel over here. Oh, so true, because Casey Hill has to balance making sure that they play a similar style to the way the Warriors play, the Golden State Warriors, and then catering to the personnel that he actually has, and he does a great job of that.
Yeah, I really do think that the D-League is potentially the hardest league in the world to coach in, just because of, he's doing a little bit of my job to an extent where you have to, as a coach, still manage these guys, and it's not just if you're making millions of dollars, there's all the same issues that go into it, but there's a whole nother level when you're in a league that has so many different levels of intricacy as far as what's going on with off the court stuff, with different contract situations, guys wanting to be different places, and it makes a big difference.
Ken, congratulations on the success, not just tonight, but what you're having all year. Good luck making the playoffs. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Kent Laker. 2-point Warriors lead here in the 2nd quarter. And let's welcome back in Kelly Johnson. Kelly?
Guys, feeding off a little bit about Casey Hill. I was talking to Cam Jones and Scott Wood about how much he is like Steve Kerr, and that they both played for Kerr during the preseason and training camp. It's like, hey, both coaches really give players a lot of confidence and encouragement. They're also, though, really apt to get really mad at you and light a fire under you if you're not responding. But in talking to Casey Hill, of course, he comes from a basketball family. You talked about his father, a former head coach in the NBA, and he said, you know what, the best advice his dad gave him was just do the job you've been given to do. Everything else will take care of itself. He said his organizational skills certainly come from his father. But in terms of being the same kind of a coach, not so much, although they are both sarcastic in their approach to their players. They like to have fun with the guys, and they're definitely both players coaches. So he's a lot like his father in that regard.
Here's another coach's son, Phil Pressey, giving it up to Scott Wood. Sutherland has hit his last 2 looks at threes. That's off the mark, but Obeka the rebound. Try it again. Right through.
Sutherland has broken through that cap in the rim. He's hit 3 threes. He hit 2 while we were talking to Ken Lacob. And finally, for the Warriors, getting something to go down.
15 for Sutherland, who averages just over 10. Well, how much do you think, Kalena, that for Casey Hill, the fact that his dad was an NBA coach, he was around NBA players, helps him communicate with NBA players? He's got such a vast chest of stories. I mean, he used to play Sega Genesis in Reggie Miller's basement.
It helps him immensely because he's soaked up all kinds of knowledge. You know, he was asking questions. The son of Bob Hill, so he's been around a lot of NBA players. I'm sure he's asked him for advice, different scenarios. Being the son of a great coach, he's obviously learned some things from his dad. Smart coach.
Was coaching in Tokyo with his dad when the tsunami hit in 2011. They came back to the United States. Here's Reggie Williams, the former Warrior. He got offered a job as an intern with the then Dakota Wizards 2 weeks before his wedding. They got married in Texas and then packed up and went to Bismarck, where he did just about everything, including occasionally washing the uniforms. And now he's certainly a well-respected young coach here in the D-League.
He's done a great job.
Under 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Scott Wood, right through, and he breaks through.
That's just Scott Wood moving without the ball. We talked about that before the game, how he comes off screens, reads the defense well. His defender got screened. He makes him pay.
And if you're a defense, you can take no solace if Scott Wood has missed his first 4. He will not stop shooting.
Shooter's mentality.
Pressey's been liking that behind the back. He's been inspired.
Done it a couple times, right?
He has 12 on the shot clock. It'll stay with Santa Cruz. Now Drisdom will check in along with Hamilton. Pressey and LaDontae Henton will sit down. Begpa. 3 on the shot clock for Drisdom. Sutherland's got to cut it loose. Missed everything. A shot clock violation here with 64 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
That was good defense there by Chris Wright. Baseline drive, baseline drift. He's in help position, recovers back to his man, moves his feet, forces a tough shot. Knew the shot clock was running out.
So Dakari Johnson still on the bench for OKC with 3 fouls. OKC, because of that foul trouble, unable to do what they like to at the end of a half. That foul on Drisdom. And Reggie Williams is going to get free throws. They like to try and play Tarczewski and Dakari Johnson, the 2 bigs, together for about 5 minutes. The 2 7-footers, but foul trouble preventing that right now. The Warriors season ticket priority list is 36,000 and counting. Now is your chance to secure priority over the general public for season tickets at the planned Chase Center in San Francisco. Sign up now at Warriors.com or call 888-GSW-HOOP.
Reggie Williams at the line right now. He'd already earned a call-up this season. He's back with OKC. He's one of the leaders. Silky veteran, smooth. Doesn't look like a great athlete, but he's smart. He'll beat you with his smart.
30 years old, 9th-year man out of VMI. 9 on the shot clock. Obekba, tough shot, and he puts it in off the glass.
Beautiful pass there.
Hamilton feeling it, and I don't think he got the rim. And unfortunately for him, there's 17,000 in the building to remind him. Talking to Mark Daignault, the head coach for OKC, he said that Santa Cruz, where there's 2,500 sellout every night, is the best road atmosphere in the D-League.
Has to be. They've done it right. They got a nice, good-sized D-League gym. And the Santa Cruz fans come out to support.
Whoa, the 4th 3 of the game for James Sutherland.
He's feeling good. Good ball movement. He's a catch-and-shoot guy. He's got it going right now.
Shot clock is off for Caruso. Reggie Williams, he can heat it up. Good battle by Obekba. Wood, good if it goes. Oh, he got it.
The Steph Curry impression. It doesn't matter if he called glass. It went in. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And these fans are like, we've seen that before.
They are going bananas right now. 17,000 on their feet.
From beyond the half court, Caruso's like, no, you can't tell me that's going in.
Scott Wood hitting his stride for the D-League three-point contest.
Yeah, he's getting some practice in. Glass, wetter, and just walks off nonchalantly like, I do this all the time. It's no big deal. Just go to the locker room.
They do everything like the Warriors.
Yeah.
And right now they're in front of Oklahoma City. It's a double-digit lead. James Sutherland has 18 points to lead the way, but it was Scott Wood who sent him into the locker room with a big smile and a big cheer here at Oracle Arena.
First year we started at 10 million words.
Well, for a good stretch of the first half, the top 3 leading scorers for Santa Cruz were all being held scoreless. Pressey, Henton, and Wood. And yet, before there was the Steph Curry-esque magic at the end of the first half, there was James Sutherland who exploded for 18 first half points.
They were getting good looks at the beginning of the game, but just couldn't get it to go. They kept playing the right way, and Sutherland gets hot. He starts knocking down some shots. That's a great pass from Pressey there. Spots up, shoots it. Another spot-up jumper. That's from deep right there. And he's feeling good. He broke the seal for the Warriors, a big 18 points, and then Scott Wood with his impression of Steph Curry. Wetter off the glass. Walk off like it ain't nothing. Let's go to the locker room. We got the momentum. We got a 10-point lead. We're good to go.
That shooting percentage slowly came up. 39% after it was sub-30 for a good portion of that first half. The assists, 13. Remember, the Warriors lead the D-League in percentage of their field goals that are assisted upon. Second chance points, heavy in the favor. Don't have a fast break point, but leading by 10. There is Scott Wood who will participate in the D-League three-point competition at the D-League All-Star festivities, which is the Saturday of the NBA All-Star festivities coming up in New Orleans. And, of course, the NBA All-Star game will be the next night, that Sunday afternoon. And for this Santa Cruz team we mentioned, there are playoff implications. This isn't just about the fact that tonight they've set a D-League attendance record, 17,497 in the building. But they are a game out of the 4th and final playoff spot in the postseason. They play a 50-game season. This is their 33rd game. So it is the stretch run here for Santa Cruz.
We're past the halfway point. They're looking to finish strong. And speaking about that All-Star game, by the way, if I'm an NBA scout, I'm going to watch that game closely because that's kind of like them getting called up. Those are all really good players that are going to be in the All-Star game. There's going to be a lot of future NBA players in that game. It's kind of like them being thrown into a new team where they don't really know the system. Can they play well? I think it's going to be a very competitive game. Clifford will be there. He's got a high motor. He's going to be working hard and showing scouts and NBA GMs what he can do. So that's going to be interesting to watch as well.
And the coaches, it's not just players that get called up. The coaches of the D-League All-Star game Kobe Carl and Jerry Stackhouse.
Yes. Jerry Stackhouse.
How about that?
It's incredible.
And there are coaches all over the league. Of course, Quinn Snyder, Dave Yeager, Luke Walton had some D-League experience.
Yeah.
Nick Van Exel, who we saw on the Memphis bench Friday night, was the head coach in the D-League last year for Texas. Good to see Dennis Clifford, who took a hard fall in the first half, back on the floor for Santa Cruz. He and Dakari Johnson, the two All-Star centers, each playing with 3 fouls as we begin this third quarter, along with Henton, Sutherland, Wood, and Pressey for Santa Cruz. Hamilton, Williams, Johnson, Caruso, and Woods for OKC. A long two-pointer right through. Cam Woods, recruited by Brad Stevens at Butler in his second year.
Sutherland, his defender, was in the paint right there. Great pass off the ball screen.
Here's Scott Wood. Has he caught fire? He has.
Apparently that half-court shot helped him. Let's see if he can get going here. He came in this second half with 6 points. He's got 9 now.
Here's Williams with a nice touch. Mark Daignault, the OKC coach, saying that even when Reggie Williams misses, he makes.
Yeah.
That's what kind of touch he has. Right through Henton, but a foul. The foul is on Daniel Hamilton, his first.
Comes off the screen right there from Clifford. His defender gets screened, rise up and shoot it. And that was a nice pass that Clifford just tried right there. He kind of waited till it was late to pass the ball, and the defender had fallen asleep. You see that a lot from the Warriors.
He's saved by Wood, but down 10 on the shot clock. Pardon me, Clifford, who tracked it down. With Dante Henton, and the shot clock will expire. Try to do a little too much.
Good offense, though. They're making the defense work. Phil Pressey coming off ball screens, just looking at the defense. He sees his teammate's defender in help position. He's going to whip it over there, and good draw and dish right there, and Steve Clifford couldn't handle it. Dennis Clifford.
Steve Clifford might be at the All-Star game, too.
Yeah, Steve. He might be there.
Looking for players? I think Steve Clifford would like Dennis Clifford, actually, now that I think about it. He'd love him, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Nice move, Dakari Johnson. Santa Cruz using the shot clock on nearly every possession. Missed everything. Shot clock violation for Clifford. In fact, using too much of the shot clock.
Watch Dakari Johnson right here. He's improved his footwork. His post moves have gotten better. He loves his hook shot. That's a shot he'll go to often. He's a guy that they can depend on too late. If this game is close, they'll throw it in deep to him. They trust him to get him a bucket.
And you wonder, will we see more players like Dakari Johnson, a sophomore out of Kentucky, a domestic draft and stash in the second round? And why would a player come out after his sophomore year? Well, he was the backup to Julius Randle as a freshman, and as a sophomore he backed up Karl Anthony Towns and Willie Cauley-Stein. And he said to himself, maybe I could be a starter.
And at Kentucky, they get a new stable in every year. So you got to decide, okay, if I stay, am I going to get playing time like I want to? So he decided to leave.
OKC 4-of-4 shooting to start this third quarter. C-Dubs with a 5-point lead here at Oracle Arena in the third quarter. And as OKC gets a steal out of the break, Drew Schiller, the Facebook Live analyst on all your Santa Cruz Warriors games. You can watch him on Facebook Live along with Kevin Dana, and the host of Warriors Outsiders on the CSM Bay Area Facebook page joins us. Taking a break from radio. Good to have you. So you've seen this team a lot. You know them very well. What do you think of the way they're playing tonight?
Well, they started out very cold from beyond the arc, 1 for 13, but that Scott Wood 3 at the end of the half, and he came out and made his first year in the second half.
2,500 a night for 22 straight nights when you call the games down at Santa Cruz. But what do you think of this 17,000 plus D-League record?
It's been absolutely incredible. Yeah, they sell it out down in Santa Cruz because no one wants to sit and watch me on Facebook Live. They want to be there in person. You were there last night at the game down in Santa Cruz. It
was awesome.
It really is a fun environment.
Talk about Clifford's improvement. We were talking about him earlier, but his footwork has gotten so much better. Defensively, he's much more disciplined. He's had a tough matchup with Dakari Johnson, but he's been great. He's an all-star.
Yes, he is, and so is Dakari Johnson. That was a real nice move. And what I like from Clifford in the first half is he typically, when he gets the ball off the block, he's going to put the ball on the deck and he's going to try to get to the rim. But he nailed that nice little mid-range jumper, which is something that we have not seen a lot from him this year.
Nice pass by Caruso, and Henton prevents the Johnson dunk. Let's take a look at these two all-star centers.
This has been two big men going at it. Clifford is going to hold his own. He hit that little 15-footer before, so he gave a little shot fake right there and put it on the floor. Beautiful creative move, and Caruso finds him streaking to the basket, outrunning everybody, gets himself to the free throw line.
Both big men with 10 points apiece. Terrence Drisdom is going to check back in. LaDante Henton sits down. I do want to get your perspective, Drew, on something big picture. We got a close game here, so we'll keep an eye on it. But because you played at Stanford, Josh Eustace played at Stanford. He's up with the Oklahoma City Thunder now, but he was a first-round player that was drafted with the intent to come to the big league. A first-round draft and stash, the first of its kind. Do you think we'll see more of that where a player agrees not to sign an NBA contract when taken in the first round?
I do, and we saw a lot of it last year. There were 5 or 6 guys. Josh Eustace kind of started that trend, and now he's playing with the Thunder. Scott Wood knocks down another triple. It really was only a matter of time before Scott Wood got it going. He's a 45% three-point shooter, and he's made the second most threes in the D-League.
Got a shooter's mentality. He's not going to stop shooting either.
He was 10 for 20 from beyond the arc a couple weeks ago against RGV.
He said that was the most he's ever taken in a game. High school, Spain, college, NC State.
Well, he just kept making them. It was a good shot all night.
I feel like the talent level here in the D-League is at an all-time high, though. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And we're also seeing a lot of former NBA veterans who are now playing in the D-League. Nate Robinson just signed with the Delaware 87ers, as we see Phil Pressey getting into the defense. Yep, Ben Gordon.
Gennaro Pargo's on this OKC team.
We haven't seen him tonight.
Yep.
He's been around.
And you've gotten a chance to see as Phil Pressey makes his first free throw. Kevon Looney played a game. Pat McCall played 2 on assignment. Damian Jones played 17 games so far this year in the D-League, which has got to be a thrill, particularly for the fans.
Yes, absolutely. And all Kevon Looney did in his one game down in Santa Cruz, 18 points and 22 rebounds, and he did it in front of Draymond Green, who was sitting courtside that night. So I think he had a little extra motivation. Didn't want to have a bad game and then come to practice back at Golden State and be getting a hard time from Draymond.
There's Sutherland with a nice steal. Drisdom with the left hand.
Defense creates offense.
The first fast break points of the night for the Warriors, and that's a surprise because typically Santa Cruz gets out in transition a lot. 6th in the D-League in fast break points.
Another chance until Caruso snuffs it out. Here's Wood. Left alone. And that breaks a 4-in-a-row streak, and even he had a bit of a grin.
It's a grin because he missed it way wide to the left. Not used to that.
And one, Reggie Williams. Take a look back at the fast break.
This is a beautiful pass here. Defense creates offense. Drisdom running. Gets an easy layup. And this last time down, they failed to capitalize on it. But Reggie Williams was still back there on the ground. So it was 5-on-4. Couldn't make the shot, and then Williams gets rewarded for cherry picking.
You know, Drew, I think one of the great things about the Santa Cruz Warriors, because you make the trip a lot, the distance seems just right.
Yes.
You know, OKC plays across the street from OKC, and you wonder if that maybe hurts attendance. An hour 20, an hour and a half away from the parent club.
Right. No,
You've seen the D-League. Is that about right in terms of where a team should be?
Yeah, I agree. And, it's far enough away where it feels like it's Santa Cruz's own team. And the city has really rallied around it. I mean, as we said, they pretty much sell it out every single night. And, they have lots of fun giveaways, and just the whole city really, you can just see the pride as you're walking around Santa Cruz downtown. Lots of Santa Cruz Warriors gear.
The arena side is perfect, too.
It is. If you had it too big, you don't want that environment where there's lots of empty seats. It really is the perfect size.
Technical for the defensive 3 seconds. Caleb Tarczewski's going to check in.
We just saw Kirk Lacob sitting courtside there, and he's actually going to be our guest on tomorrow's Warriors Outsiders show, as you mentioned, on CSN Bay Area through Facebook Live.
What time?
10 a.m.
All right.
Tomorrow, so you go like CSN Bay Area's Facebook page, and my co-host Grant Liftman and I, we will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We'll be talking with Kirk. We'll be talking about tonight's game, and also the Warriors wins at Memphis and at Oklahoma City. And I'm sitting here with 2 friends of the show.
That's right.
You guys have both been guests on the show.
Sure, it's a fun show, and your shameless plug game is on point.
Why do you think I'm sitting here right now?
Yeah, who agreed to this? Who scheduled this?
You guys didn't get the checks in the mail?
No.
Oh, wow. Did you want cash?
Yeah, it was supposed to be cash.
My bad.
Tell you what, if you secure a bobblehead for me,
my wife got one. So I'll steal it from her and give it to you.
Nice move, Clifford, and Tarczewski fouls him. Well, we saw the look at Kirk Lacob with the sweatshirt. Of course, we were joined by Kent Lacob, Kirk's younger brother, who's the GM now of the Santa Cruz Warriors.
Yeah, Kent's got the suit on, and Kirk's going casual tonight. Love it.
Kirk was the one that, when the process started, when they decided we need a D-League team, he really spearheaded it. It was his job to go find one, his job to go buy it, his job to move it.
Yep.
And he did such a great job of it. And he was actually
they hired a great broadcaster, let me tell you.
They did. Kevin Dana is fantastic.
Very nice. I set you up for that one.
But what really helped this organization, you think Jeremy Lin is one of the reasons the Warriors bought a D-League team.
He was playing for Reno.
Going to Reno, playing for Eric Musselman. And Kirk Lacob was going with him a lot, and they said, this is great, but we're sharing the team, and if we don't control the environment, we just don't control the player development.
Right. Trying to go 30 for 30.
Yeah, next year there's going to be 25 teams.
Yeah.
And when Santa Cruz, in its first year, back in 2012-13, it was 16 teams. So you can just see the growth.
Back when I played, it was 9 teams.
Yeah.
And so how hard was it, Kalena, to have structure there?
It was tough. Playing against a lot of the same teams. Back-to-back. Clifford is putting together a nice game, by the way.
He's got 14. That ends a 10-0 run by the Blue.
Yeah, I was bad luck.
Daniel Hamilton well off the mark.
We've seen a lot of shots missed altogether, and we've talked about it on the radio, Kevin Dan and I, and we think that the guys are definitely affected by this backdrop here at Oracle. Not used to playing in this big of an arena.
There's no way you wouldn't be. This is way different than Santa Cruz. We talk about Santa Cruz, the fans come out and support, but this is a huge arena. These fans are wonderful. They get loud, very knowledgeable fans. It's only right that the Warriors organization should have the D-League single-game record for attendance.
Chris Obekpa checks in. Meanwhile, for Santa Cruz. That's a hard closeout on Wood until he puts it on the floor.
Saw a bunch of highlights of you in the D-League during the broadcast, going in, dunking on people.
I tried back then. I had a little bounce.
A little?
Back in the day, just a little
I would
bit.
say a lot of.
Just a little. Teammates made some good passes. Just trying to finish for him,
Yeah, I spent most of my time basketball outside beyond the three-point line. Yeah, I didn't really go inside too often.
It's okay. If you can shoot it, stay out there.
That was my mindset.
You're ahead of your time. You just saw the evolution of the game coming.
Right, right.
The foul on Scott Wood is third. Drew Schiller, the analyst for Santa Cruz Warrior basketball, which is easy to find. You just go to the D-League Facebook page, and every game streams right there, right away. It's been great in preparation for this. It's not only can you catch it live, you can catch it as far back as you want to go throughout the season. You can find the game you're looking for. Cam Jones back in. What does he mean, Drew, to this team and this organization being one of the veterans?
He means a lot. He was awesome back in the 2013-14 season, and then he was overseas for a couple years, and now he's back. And that's another sign of just how legit the D-League is. A lot of times when guys go overseas, they're not going to come back to the D-League, but he's just a steadying presence on the floor. He started the first 15 games of the year. Now he's coming off the bench, and it gives Santa Cruz a much deeper team.
Hamilton, second effort.
Probably should have been a foul on the first one. Alex Hamilton is at his best, getting to the rim.
Right. Jumps into defenders there. He wasn't able to finish the first one, just stayed with it.
Oklahoma City Blues.
OKC will take a timeout, a full timeout, with 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Warriors Outsiders tomorrow morning.
And Glenn, we'll see you on Tuesday morning, 10 a.m.
Welcome back to Oracle Arena. The C-Dub sharpshooter, Scott Wood, is heating up, pulling his best Steph Curry impersonation at the end of the first half with that buzzer beater. He's hit 4 of his last 5 3-pointers. And, of course, he'll be competing in the D-League's 3-point contest during the All-Star break. Now, I talked to Wood about playing with the Splash Brothers during training camp in the preseason, and he was just so impressed with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson's work ethic, how much they worked at their craft and on their shot. And when I talked to Casey Hill about whether he thought that Wood had the chops to make it at the NBA level, and he said he is the best shooter that he has ever coached, but most importantly, he has the confidence and the cockiness to make those tough shots at that level. So if there's a team looking for a specialty player, a guy who can spread the court in September for their playoff push, well, Wood could be their guy.
And that's what's unique about this league is, Kelly, anybody can get signed off any of these teams with the exception of a few players that are on assignment or whether it's a drafted stash like Dakari Johnson. But for the most part, and again, we don't have to look that far. The Warriors just did that with Briante Weber signing him from Sioux Falls.
NBA teams love shooters. If you can shoot the ball, there's a lot of NBA teams that'll try to find a spot for you at some point in your career. He stays consistent. He's shooting a good percentage right now, 44.5%. Playing well as Sutherland gets to the basket. He's not just a shooter, showing he can get to the basket as well. But if he stays consistent with his shooting, he's got a shot to play in the NBA.
For James Sutherland, his first field goal of the second half, and he now has 20 points. And Obekba with the denial, his second block of the night.
2 minutes remaining.
There's Daniel Hamilton. And OKC trailed by 10 points at the half. They've now retaken the lead. 74-72. Cam Jones challenging Dakari Johnson to tie it back up.
He jumped into Dakari Johnson's body to kind of shield the defenders. Santa Cruz comes back on the other end in a hurry. Beautiful drive here, just a clean rip through. Here we have the advantage going against Tarczewski. Quickness advantage. Gets all the way to the basket, and then Jones. Watch him throw his body into Dakari Johnson there. Negates his shot blocking ability up and in.
Second foul on James Sutherland. 15 foul. Sutherland and Drisdom going to sit down. Wood and Clifford check back in. It's tie-dye jersey night, February 25th, as the Santa Cruz Warriors take on the Windy City Bulls. First 1,500 fans receive a tie-dye rally towel to match the team's jerseys, courtesy of Awesome Organics. Head over to SantaCruzWarriors.com to get your tickets. Obekba with his long arms keeping it alive, but coming away with it, Caruso. Johnson just moved Obekba out of the way to finish that one at the window.
Transition, no one put a body on him.
Under a minute now. A 10-point halftime lead turned to a 4-point deficit for Santa Cruz. Caruso, he's been so good at that. We've seen it all year long. We're seeing it tonight. Here's Des Wells. Xavier Henry found him, and Scott Wood comes away with it. Chance for a 2-for-1.
Gotten a little sloppy here lately, both teams.
Well, we went from the slowest pace of the night about 10 minutes ago to now this thing has gone up and down for the last 2 minutes or so, and now Terrence Drisdom's going to check back in. And Clifford, who was playing with 3 fouls, is going to sit down. With 1 on the shot clock, Caruso.
That was well defended, too.
For the second time, off the mark. And so, what was once a 10-point halftime lead has turned to a 7-point deficit for Santa Cruz as we go to the 4th quarter here at Oracle. They had 81-74 deficit for the Santa Cruz Warriors here at Oracle Arena. As we get set for the 4th quarter, you see Reggie Williams has 19 points for OKC. But let's flash back to 2010, December 8th in San Antonio, where Reggie Williams had 8 3-pointers on his way to a career-high 31 points.
I remember this game. He was knocking down shots. There's a lot of drawing kicks. There's Lee getting into the paint right there, drawing and kicking. He's smooth, he's calm and collected, and he's a veteran on this team. He's a leader, and he realizes that he doesn't have to put up crazy huge numbers. He's having a solid season, averaging about 18 points a game, shooting 41% from three-point range. He wants his teammates to develop the right way. He's already earned a call-up this season. He's back down here with OKC. He's the kind of player you want on your team, a veteran. You can ask him questions. He's got a lot of knowledge to impart to these young guys, and he does so freely.
And he's also the answer to a great trivia question. There are 5 Golden State Warriors to have made 8 3-pointers in a game.
That is true.
2 are easy. Steph and Clay have combined. It's happened 43 times. Steph and Clay have done it 39. Darrell Wright did it twice. Jason Richardson and Reggie Williams.
It's good company to be in.
Great, that's right. Great company. Dennis Clifford fouled to start this 4th quarter. That foul is on Des Wells. It's his 3rd.
You've seen Clifford make some really nice spin moves. You could tell he's really worked on his footwork. Beautiful shot fake there, a little spin. He's putting Johnson in tough positions here.
Just remember what he moves in his head.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. He's got it now. Johnson defending with 3 fouls. Here's Pressey. Xavier Henry the rebound for the Blue. Clifford, Henton, Pressey, Wood, and Sutherland for Santa Cruz to start this 4th quarter. No, what a pass by Johnson to Chris Wright, the former Warrior. The last time number 33, Chris Wright, was in a Warrior uniform, he scored 25 points against the San Antonio Spurs. That was back in 2012. Pressey misses the rim, thought he was fouled. And here comes Henry again. Henton knocked it away from Wright.
Good hands there, good help from the top.
It's another thing that looks familiar, Kalena. Nice move by Pressey. But we've seen just about everybody bring the ball up for the Santa Cruz Warriors.
Yeah.
We see them switch just about everything.
Exactly. Yep, that's what the Warriors do. Rebound and run. You see Draymond Green get the rebound. He's not passing. He's going to push it up the floor. They got great decision makers. The Santa Cruz Warriors trying to emulate that.
Clifford on an island with Johnson. Good defense, and Johnson just too tough.
That's great defense, better offense. We talked about how disciplined Clifford is defensively. Dakari Johnson says, I don't care. I'm going to make my moves. I'm going to get my shot.
Clifford right back at him. Maybe blocked by Wright from behind. Dakari Johnson, just 21 years old in his second year out of Kentucky. Here he has it. Another nice pass, but Wells can't finish it. Oklahoma City, at the moment, locked into the 2 spot in the Western Conference playoff race. 4 teams make the playoffs in each conference. And Santa Cruz is a game out of the 4th spot right now, behind Rio Grande Valley. Here's Scott Wood.
Both teams have gotten cold here. So you can break out of this.
Right, this looks like the beginning of the game all over again.
Exactly.
Xavier Henry fouled by Wood.
Warriors foul, charge 14.
For more on Dennis Clifford, let's welcome Kelly back in. Kelly?
Hey, guys. Well, you guys have been talking a lot about Dennis Clifford, of course, their lone all-star representative for the Western Conference. Funny story, you know, Casey Hill told me it was a no-brainer to bring him in for that local tryout. He's a 7-footer, but he had heard that Clifford was soft and just a mid-range jumper kind of big man with no inside game, and he said when he got him in, he couldn't have been further from the truth. He said athleticism, physicality, he's got a grit to him. He'll take on anybody. And when I asked Dennis if he'd heard that about himself, he said no. He didn't find out from coaches until about 3 weeks into the season when they told him that everyone was calling him soft. He kind of laughed about it, and he said, you know what? He got his toughness from his father. He's a blue-collar worker. He's a carpenter, and he watched his dad work hard rebuilding floors and roofs, and he said that's hard work, but that's where I learned my work ethic from. Basketball is easy compared to that, okay?
That's a great story, Kelly. Nobody sweats more in practice than Dennis Clifford. If he was just sitting in a chair, you sit in a different chair. Travel on Pressey. Clifford put both arms in the air on that one. He didn't agree, but he said when he came for that local tryout, Coletta, he didn't quite realize it was a tryout. He thought he was on the team until somebody said to him in an interview, you know, you're one of the last guys left. He said, left in what? Aren't I on the team?
Seems to block out the outside noise, doesn't he? It probably helped him, though. He's playing free like he's already on the team.
It's true.
And ends up making the team.
He was on a Boston College team that did not win a conference game last year.
Right.
And it's understandable. Here's Xavier Henry, too strong. A player like that could get lost in the mix, especially a big. Maybe is it harder for those guys to fit in sometimes?
It is. And mid-major schools, guys from those kinds of schools. That's why I love this league, because it gives people like that come from those kind of mid-major schools and less a chance to compete against guys that went to schools like Kentucky and UNC and the big-time major schools and show what they got against those guys and impress NBA scouts. And Clifford is a guy that's taken full advantage of this opportunity. Didn't know he was trying out, but he made the team regardless. And the thing I love about him is his high motor. He's going to play hard every single minute. He's going to sweat a lot. His hair is going to be all over the place. And his teammates love him. He gives that energy.
You've got to figure there's going to be a spot on somebody's summer league team. The Warriors probably hope it's their summer league team for Dennis Clifford this year.
Yeah.
Big free throws to keep it at a 7-point deficit or get it to a 7-point deficit. Here's Caruso left all alone. Tarzewski in there, but it's Henton that comes away with it. LaDante Henton. And Pressey will bring the Warriors back. It was a 10-point lead by Santa Cruz at the half. Well, he just got hounded, and now Wells is going to throw it down on the other end. Des Wells in his second year out of Maryland. And a timeout on the floor. Santa Cruz and Casey Hill want to take a moment to talk about it. With 7:47 remaining here in the fourth quarter, Des Wells and OKC trying to silence this Oracle crowd. Well, maybe the Steph Curry bobblehead brought him out. Brought him from Santa Cruz, brought him from all over the Bay Area. The first 10,000 received that, but it was 17,497. Everybody counted that made it in the door. So what's been a fun night, the first D-League game at Oracle Arena. It sets a D-League attendance record, and now the Santa Cruz Warriors with work to do to make it a win.
They got to make a final push here. They've had a tough time on the offensive end. OKC has picked up at the intensity there as Hamilton just takes advantage of Tarczewski there. Knew he had the quickness advantage. The bigger defender on him. Creates space, step back and shoot it.
Alex Hamilton now with 7 points. As Wells had the big dunk just before the timeout. And a whistle on the floor will stay here. Cam Jones. That's his second. Third team foul for Santa Cruz. Reggie Williams and Jones the rebound. By the way, Santa Cruz was called for 5 technical fouls and overcame it in a win last night against Austin. They haven't had to overcome techs, but they've lately had to overcome some empty offensive possessions as Reggie Williams gets it to go down on the other end.
That's a lot of techs.
It's a lot of techs.
To overcome.
Williams now has 21 to lead OKC and all scorers. Sutherland has struggled in the second half after 18 in the first. That foul on Daniel Hamilton on OKC.
Daniel Hamilton, second personal, 13 foul.
3 now on OKC, 2 on Hamilton.
The Warriors are going to have to knock some shots down here. They're getting some good looks at it like we talked about at the beginning of the game. And now that lid is back on there. I'd like to see him take the ball to the basket if the outside shot isn't falling.
And now without Pressey, their point guard and leading scorer on the floor, not a lot of movement.
And another outside contested shot right there. Got to get something going to the basket if you can.
Woods all alone. And Drew Schiller was with us earlier. I'm sure is commenting that we've seen a lot of those tonight. Des Wells and Sutherland the rebound. Nice move, Cam Jones, and one.
Jones doing his best to attack the basket there. Does a beautiful job. A little step over there. Just sees in transition a little opening. Steps to his left. Rips it over the top. Beautiful finish. Probably the easiest and one he's ever had.
And one. Makes it a 6-point game. And remember now in the fourth quarter, we mentioned there are some rules in the D-League that are different than in the NBA.
Yep.
One of those rules is that in the fourth quarter, a coach can challenge a foul call if they think they've been wrongly whistled for a penalty. And the officials will go to replay and can change a call. They, in fact, can even assess the foul to the other player. Hamilton is fouled, and he'll go to the line. The follow by Obepka doesn't count. And that foul is on Tarczewski. And that's number 4 on Caleb Tarczewski.
This is Alex Hamilton. He sees Tarczewski in front of him in transition. He's like, okay, I can get to the basket here. And that's what you want if you're Santa Cruz right now. The outside shots aren't falling. Let's change it up. Let's get to the basket. Let's get to the free throw line. Let's knock down some free throws, as Hamilton wasn't able to do there. We got to do something different to cut into this lead. Done a pretty good job so far. It's 6 points. Still a lot of time to go.
Coming up March 17th, the Santa Cruz Warriors face off against the Texas Legends. The first 1,500 fans receive a Casey Hill bobblehead, courtesy of Awesome Organics. Buy your tickets at SantaCruzBasketball.com. Hamilton misses the free throw.
It's 2.
Now Hamilton, much like in the NBA draft, the player that the Warriors had targeted when they went up, moved up, paid to go get Patrick McCaw. Stepping out of bounds is Johnson. A turnover. It goes back to Santa Cruz, but Hamilton was a player that they targeted at the top of the draft, and they did the trade, trading Xavier Henry to OKC to get Alex Hamilton, who's dribbling up right now. The Conference USA Player of the Year last season. And a foul on Caruso.
Alex Hamilton, when he comes in the game, he's looking to be a facilitator usually, but he can't get to the basket. He's got some nice moves going downhill. He's good as handle going downhill. The biggest thing is when he's decisive, he's at his best, whether it's being aggressive to get into the paint, draw and kick, draw and dish. or to score. Just be decisive, make good, hard, crisp moves, lead the team when you're out there. He's a good pick and roll player, good passer. He's got good vision. He's a smart player.
Santa Cruz in the bonus now for the rest of the game, at least of regulation. That one drops. 4-point game.
Now you got to get some stops.
This crowd coming alive here at Oracle. Obekpa meets Johnson and denies him. And it goes off of Johnson. Casey Hill is asking for a review. And the officials are going to go to the monitor. This is ruled off of Santa Cruz, but I think Casey Hill is going to get this one right. What do you think, Kalena?
What an incredible defensive play from Obekpa. Just ready to help. Alert on the weak side there. The precision to get all ball there and block that shot without fouling. And to me, it looked like it went off at Dakari Johnson.
And Casey Hill thought so. He immediately signaled to the officials that he wants a review here.
Here's the block. Looks like it's going to go off of his right hand right there. It's tough to see from that angle. This angle might be a little better. Yep, still in his hand. So he blocked it down back into his hand.
Obekpa has just been everywhere, and I think that previous angle was absolutely definitive. I think Casey Hill's going to win this challenge.
He was on Caruso there, guarding him coming off that ball screen. Comes off of him and gets a wonderful block. Wow, that was impressive.
Obekpa, just 23 years old. The first-year man out of Nigeria, grew up playing soccer. But you can see why he got onto the under-16 basketball team at 15 years old. Somebody saw him and said, get him off the pitch and get him onto the court. And then it was, as you see, his fourth block. Masai Ujiri, the GM of the Raptors, through his Basketball Without Borders Africa program that helped Obekpa get into high school in New York. He was recruited by St. John's, went to St. John's before transferring to UNLV.
He's a smart defensive player. That was just a ball screen. They switched. He realized his teammate Alex Hamilton is smaller than Dakari Johnson, so he didn't give up on the play. He offered his help. Came off Caruso, rotated over, and got a nice block.
Well, here's an update. They have not overturned that call. I thought, as they say, not enough evidence. I thought that last angle we saw was definitive, didn't you?
I did. But what do we know, I guess?
So that costs a timeout.
That's tough.
With 5 minutes to go. To remain for Santa Cruz. Timeouts, that is. Here's Dakari Johnson over Obekpa. And so it cost Santa Cruz 2 points.
Beautiful shot fake right there. You know Obekpa was going to try to block his shot. He just blocked it, so he threw a shot fake, and Obekpa got off his feet. Pretty easy little runner right there.
Here's a look for Henton. He smacks his hands together. Williams. And he smacks his hands together. And one. And a chance at a 4-point play for LaDontae Henton.
Well, the problem started when Reggie Williams gambled. He wasn't able to come up with the steal. Now Santa Cruz has an advantage. One less defender. It's just about finding the odd man out. And they found him.
Henton was 0 of 10 from the field before he made this shot. One of the greatest scorers in Michigan State history. From mid-Michigan, where only 4 players in the history of that part of the state have scored 2,000 points. Henton and Magic Johnson are 2 of the 4, but then he misses the free throw, and so it stays at a 3-point game.
Another big missed free throw there.
Johnson's been aggressive. Here's Hamilton right at Caruso. No whistle. Good defense by Caruso to pull the chair out. Daniel Hamilton on the other end of 3 and a big swing for OKC.
That is huge. Beautiful shot fake and step back. That is not an easy shot. And on the other end, Caruso with a huge defensive play. Gave ground beautifully. Forced Hamilton into a tough layup.
A Let's Go Warriors chant emanating here at Oracle. Wood steps into a triple. Bekba does not stop working.
That is a huge shot.
And Mark Daignault was trying to call a timeout before that three-pointer went in. And then Alex Caruso looked at Daignault and said, nice call, coach. But an answer. Alex Hamilton, and it's still 7. Santa Cruz led by 10 points at halftime. And now Daignault will get his timeout. And with 2:50 to go, OKC protecting a 7-point lead. Santa Cruz, the best team in the league at defending the 3-ball. But right now it feels like everything going OKC's way. Just under 3 minutes to change that. One last big push here at Oracle Arena as Santa Cruz trails OKC by 7. The Blue with it out of a timeout. Bekba getting help from Sutherland on Johnson. And Johnson again. It's the 3rd time he's beat the shot clock.
I told you they go to him late. They trust him there. Sutherland came from the bottom, the baseline side to offer some help, a double team. Bobbled it for a little bit, made a great move up and in.
Johnson now with 21 points for OKC. Here's Alex Hamilton. Pressey back into the game. Finds Sutherland, who does not get it off in time. No, that will not count.
He didn't get it off.
Are they going to take a look at this? Meanwhile, we'll look at Johnson on the other end.
Right, watch Sutherland come from the baseline side. He bobbles it and then just goes up and in. Nice little jump hook. Starts yelling, "Arrow!" I don't know what he was saying.
Vandy Richardson had his hand in the air. Jonathan Sterling indicated that the shot did not count, and so it's the officials that looked at one another and agreed that they wanted to check and see if the shot got off in time. But I think you're right, Colena. I don't think it did.
It was clearly after the buzzer sounded that he got that off.
You remember what happened the last time you said clearly?
I know, right? I shouldn't be so confident anymore. You just got to act like you know, though.
One note on the D-League. Reviews are limited to 75 seconds. One of the other rules that they're trying. Let's take a look here. Keep in mind, it's the clock, not the red lights on the board that matter, and that definitely hit 0.
Okay, I'm 1 for 2. It's not a bad percentage if you ask me.
No.
50%.
Where are you shooting from? You would think that was a free throw, though.
Right. Should be easy.
So 2:09 remaining. One other rules difference in the NBA that's pertinent right now is under 2 minutes, each team is allowed what's called a reset timeout.
Advance.
It allows you to call a timeout to advance or substitute, but you do not get to huddle. That will come in 9 seconds.
That's one function of the D-League. Works as a testing ground for the NBA. Try out new rules, see how they work in game.
And we're under 2 minutes now. This has been a great crowd tonight, hasn't it?
It's been wonderful.
Sutherland the steal. He wants it on the wing. Instead, it's Hamilton inside, and he's fouled. And Alex Hamilton will go back to the free throw line.
Oklahoma City Blue foul.
Hamilton does a good job here.
Personal.
Saw his defender coming with him, had him with a long closeout, rip it through, try to get to the basket. Does a good job of not settling. He realizes there's still a lot of time left. We don't have to settle for a three-pointer if we don't have to. Get something to the basket, get himself to the free throw line.
Hamilton, the rookie. He's now 6 of 9 from the stripe, from Louisiana Tech. Grew up in Florida. After missing 2 of 2, he has hit 4 in a row. 7-point game. Obekpa stays on the ground with Johnson.
Veteran move. Obekpa had his hands out. Come right up under him. For Dakari Johnson, he just does that and gets a foul. Wanted a shooting foul, but it'll be out of bounds.
14 on the shot clock. Here's Caruso with 7. And Wood the rebound.
Gotta get something quick here.
Hamilton trying. 65 seconds remain for Pressey. And he's going to go to the free throw line with a chance to make it a 5-point game. That foul on Daniel Hamilton.
That's good. Again, no need to settle. Get something going to the basket. We still got plenty of time. It's only 7 points. Now you have a chance to put points on the board with the clock stopped. Best case scenario.
Phil Pressey, who says he knows the Warriors play so well from playing against them and then being in camp, that he watches the games and yells out the plays that the Warriors are running as or before they run them. That's the Golden State Warriors. And he makes both free throws. A little pressure now from Santa Cruz. And here comes this crowd again.
Got to be active on D, see if you can force a turnover. You know they're going to Dakari Johnson again. They got to switch. Small defender advantage.
Hamilton waves off the help. Reggie Williams, the former Warrior, can't hit, but he gets the rebound. The shot clock resets only to 14.
Huge offensive rebound. Good defensive possession, but unable to secure the rebound.
Charge to Alex Hamilton as second personal 16 foul penalty situation.
There's 6 on that shot clock where the foul was committed.
That's a costly offensive rebound for Santa Cruz. You force a miss. Pressey came all the way from the weak side. He saw Dakari Johnson had the advantage going against a smaller defender, Hamilton, so he runs over. Dakari Johnson does a smart thing. Whips it over to the open man, but unable to make the shot go down. And Santa Cruz couldn't get a rebound.
And that's a big one. That takes it from 6 to a 7-point deficit for Santa Cruz. A 30-second timeout taken by Casey Hill. He has now only his reset timeout remaining.
Stop by the merchandise stand to pick up great souvenirs and apparel for the Santa Cruz Warriors for the whole family. The merchandise stand is located.
Missed free throws a part of this story for Santa Cruz. They've missed 7 in this game.
Some costly late ones, too.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of it's happened in the second half.
Right. Well, here we've seen crazier things happen. 32 seconds. Get a quick shot. Be nice if you can get a 3.
That would be the guy. Scott Wood, who has 12 points. He's going to be in the three-point contest on Saturday in the D-League three-point contest.
There he is.
Good look at it. In and out. And Obekpa is going to foul Daniel Hamilton. We remind you that Sportsnet Central comes up after this game here at Oracle Arena, which by just about every measure but the win column is going to turn out to be a successful night. Well, that's the one that matters to the playoff race. where Santa Cruz entered play a game back of the 4th and final playoff spot.
It was wonderful. The fans showed up. They got loud, supported this team. Scott Wood gave him the half-court shot. That was exciting.
That's right.
Pretty good first half, but OKC Blue here came out strong, defended well. Now they're going to come away with the win.
This is one of the differences we mentioned. This is what's called a reset timeout. This is the difference between the D-League and the NBA. The timeout that allows them to advance the ball to either side at the 28-foot line, that hash mark, but you cannot huddle. Now that's a nice way to speed the game up.
Right. And that was a good play last time for Scott Wood. See if they can get another one here.
Looking for him. This is deep. And the shot clock is off. And Presti's going to keep playing as he fouls Cameron Woods of Oklahoma City. These two teams will meet on Tuesday in Oklahoma City. And so Santa Cruz will get another shot at OKC. That'll be the 3rd game in 4 nights, plus the travel for the Warriors as Woods makes the free throw. And they'll return home next week against Reno. Back at Santa Cruz at Kaiser Permanente Arena. Hamilton will play out the string, and he gets fouled on a 3. Well, hold on. It's 10 points, but as long as they're going to shoot free throws,
what a mistake that was.
Might as well hang around. That was on Tarczewski, I believe.
Yeah.
It was, and that's 5 on him.
Tarczewski just making a mistake there. Unfortunately, it's probably too little too late, but I don't want to take any chances.
Substitution for Blue. 44, Dakari Johnson.
Here comes Dakari Johnson back in. Nothing funny happens here on a rebound.
You need a couple more mistakes like that. Yeah. Need a miracle for Santa Cruz.
And Johnson corrals it. And Reggie Williams gets fouled. 7.2 and will walk down to the other end.
Hamilton, 3rd personal.
We do wonder who might be next. I think any D-League game you watch, you say, who is next? One night, somebody was watching Briante Weber in Sioux Falls. The next night, we're watching him here. And so, as you've watched this game, if you had to pick somebody you think might be next, who stands out to you?
Dakari Johnson, I think we'll see him at some point in an NBA uniform in his near future. I love that he's really worked on his footwork. He's got some great post moves. He's strong down there. They trust him in late game situations. Williams has played well. Presti got his 10 assists. He was facilitating.
And 10 points.
Did a great job, double-double. Sutherland came in and played well. Had that big burst there to help his team kind of take over there for a while. Not able to do it as much in the second half, but we saw some good performances tonight.
And to your point on Dakari Johnson, 17 of his 21 points came in the second half. Oklahoma City, the 2 seed as it stands in the West, improves to 25-11. And the Santa Cruz Warriors fall to 18-15. Keep in mind, a 50-game season, so the playoffs begin in mid-April, and big games coming up in Santa Cruz for these Warriors.
It's about finishing strong for them. Couldn't get the job done tonight, but if they can shoot the ball consistently, they love their threes. They're a good defensive team. Stay disciplined on that end. Knock down some shots, keep playing the right way. It's up to Phil Presti to keep leading them, keep facilitating. They're at their best when they're sharing the ball. We saw that for a stretch here tonight, but they weren't able to close it out.
17,497, a D-League record tonight at Oracle Arena. Watch the Santa Cruz Warriors fall to the Oklahoma City Blue by a final score of 105-96. But it was not without its thrills. For our entire crew, Our director, Paul Davis, our producer, Sean Day, Kelly Johnson on the sidelines, and my broadcast partner, Kalena Azabuki. This is Guy Haberman saying so long from Oracle Arena. Sportsnet Central is coming up next.
She's a Silicon